Men in the industry are great and all, but I really just love sitting back and talking shop with another woman in the industry. We became Insta friends during the pandemic. We cheer each other on from afar, but really, I'm just so blown away by her talent and her beauty. And I want you guys to know about it too. Welcome to the podcast, my beautiful favorite person in the world, Alyxx. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. Okay, so I'm great. We're podcasting earlier than I normally do.
Okay.
And I did I did a brown combo lipstick because I've been super inspired by your Instagram lately. You
Thanks.
are you are the case in point for like brown lipstick and playing with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I try to like change it up every now and then.
It's beautiful. We've always talked about the stuff you do in beauty and how good you are with your makeup. It's always like such a fun surprise logging on and being like, oh, she did it again. Oh, look what she did. Oh, see, she always does that. She's always so good at that. I love that about her.
Thank you. Well, I don't post the stuff that doesn't work out well.
Hey, there you go. That's right. Hot tip, pro tip. Tune in early. Get the hot tips right there. So I am so excited for you. You're playing live at Dingbats in March. For every artist after the pandemic, there's just more meaning to getting to play live again after everything. Agree or disagree?
100%. My first show back was actually at Blue Ridge. So like my first show back after a year and a half of not playing out was at a festival. So I was like, okay. But it was amazing. So
Wow. So let's talk Blue Ridge. Like that was your first show back?
yeah, in front of a lot of people.
I know, like I don't get nervous, but I was just like, oh my God, nerves.
A
That's
little bit.
wild.
It was weird. Like when I got on stage, I was okay. And to be
Mhm.
honest, I kind of like lost my voice the day before. So I had that behind me, like in my head. So when I got on stage, like it kind of was like, I was like, well, I'm here. So let me just give it my all and whatever happens, happens. But it actually went really, really well.
Oh, good. Well, you're just put on this earth to um belt out like you do all the time. So that's that Eminem Super Bowl moment of you only got one chance and this is who I am and this is what I do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So can you it's not even like a festival, it was the festival. Can you tell us a little bit more about how Blue Ridge was?
It was
There was so
amazing.
much talk about it.
I know. Okay. So it's the first day was a little chaotic because I went like a couple days because I was like, I haven't seen a live show in like a year and a half. So the first like day was a little chaotic and it's a new festival, COVID, trying to like figure out everything. So it was a little like wonky in the beginning. But then I went Friday, saw a couple awesome bands, and then I went on Saturday and I feel like I blinked and it was over. And it was just cool because you got to, everyone's just like walking around backstage and getting to like stand side stage for a bunch of bands and just getting to be really like immersed in the whole world again. It was much needed. So
Absolutely. Who were some of your favorites from the festival that weekend?
Well, I saw Stitched Up Heart. They were amazing. The thing is, there were a few bands I did not get to see because I was like at my merch booth or I was like doing an interview or something. So I did miss a few that I had wanted to see. Who else did I see? Black Satellite was really good. I saw Fate Destroyed. They were the day before, but they were really good too. And then, Five Finger Death Punch. They were awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. We love our Andy. Andy's our favorite. Yay. Andy, I have all the boys. They're so much fun. Yeah. I thought about going, but then I didn't know with like COVID, like, and it turned out to be totally fine. But I was like, I don't know if it was,
I
yeah.
know. It was a lot of like up in the air. And honestly, like when you went there, it's like nothing happened. Just like the world was back to normal. So it was nice and refreshing.
It was fine.
Yeah,
It
it was
was
fun.
totally fine. I know you said that feeling of going to a show and you're like, oh, but it's over. I recently experienced that last time Fit for an Autopsy was in town. So much build up and so much excitement. And they're like one of my favorite bands. And it was incredible. And it was all encompassing. And then it was over. And then I was sad. I was like, well, now what do I do with my life? Like, well, now what?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, I don't know, like shows when they come to town now, I'm so into them. I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And then when the show's over, I'm like, and I'm sad now.
It goes by so fast. And it's like, I feel like we used to like, maybe mostly just me, take advantage of the fact that there were so many shows, and be like, oh, I'll go to the next time, like they're in town or whatnot, because like I have work or I have something where like but now I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going to go, like, no matter what, I'll make it work. So yeah, it's
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I was laying in bed and I was confused on when Every Time I Die was playing in Austin. And I thought I had missed it, but it turns out they were doing 2 shows. And I was like at a friend's party. I was like, oh, darn it, I missed it. And then I was laying in bed and I was like, oh, they're doing a second show tonight. And I was like, I could totally make it. So I like got out of bed, ran, shaved my legs, found a dress, did makeup in the car, got there. And I'm so glad I did. That was, on the last tour. So
that's awesome.
I'm so thankful I went to that and got to experience it and watch it. And I always say, always go to the show. And what if I like had just been like, it's fine, I missed it, whatever. Sunday night, it's cool. Really glad I went.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Always say yes to concerts.
Yeah, always say yes, for sure. So let's get to your music specifically. When you close your eyes and start to sing, what do you feel? It looks like you feel everything.
Usually just the lyrics. The lyrics and just the actual music. Like, I feel like it sounds so cheesy, but I feel like the music like runs through me and like I just get immersed into whatever I'm singing or playing.
Absolutely. I agree with that so much. And I think I feel that from your music. And I don't feel that with every band. I think I like listen to stuff and I'm like, yeah, I love that. There's like an ethereal quality to your music. And it really does pulse through you. And the beautiful music combined with your voice, it takes me back to like middle school when I first felt things. And it takes me back to a time in my life where music meant so much more. And it meant everything. And it was all encompassing and all around you. And there's something about your voice and the way you guys write music and the way you combine it, it is breathtaking.
Wow, that's a huge compliment. Thank you so much. I try, yeah. Like, I don't know. Like when I write, I always write everything in piano first and then kind of like build from there. It's like that song Lose It All Reimagined. It's not actually technically reimagined because that's how I wrote it. Like that was a song like originally and then we made it like hard rock. So I kind of went the other way. But yeah, so I try to like feel inspired by where the music takes me.
Absolutely. And yes, to everything you said, because I wrote next that song, Lose It All, triumphant, inspiring, empathetic, passionate. Where were you in life when you wrote that song? What was going on in your life? I want to know.
So I wrote that song in like 2018, 2018 or 2017. And I was just like, depressed. It happens. And I was just trying to like basically motivate myself to like get out of that funk and to just hold on to my sanity and what I had left of it and to try to just keep going. And then during the pandemic, all those feelings kind of like flooded back. And I was like, oh, this is great. We're here again. And then I had an idea of like releasing that song how it originally was. Like you can tell it was definitely more of like an emotional song than when I released it with like my EP where it was more like a hard rock, like full band kind of thing. And then I just felt like it was really like I have a tendency to write for me. Like I released it for myself. I was like, I hope people like it, but I was more like a therapeutic kind of release. So that's where that came from.
Well, if you don't believe it and you don't feel it, no one else will.
True.
So I think in this day and age, and there's I won't like state my name, but it's not the radio station we all listen to, but the online thing. There's some bands on there, and the writing is really lazy. And I think some of the lyrics and some of like bigger bands too that everyone loves, and no matter what they do, oh, it's great, oh, it's great, oh, it's great. Oh my God. Horrible song concepts for like lyrics. So it's just like one thing I've been experiencing, hearing some songs. I'm just like, oh, it's awful. Like lazy writing. Let's take like a phrase everyone knows, rewrite it poorly, add guitar. I don't know. There's just some things out there that I've heard lately where I'm like, lazy. I don't like it. And I'm sure they believe in it, but I don't. But I believe it when you sing.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a hard, like for me, I guess emotions are difficult to express, which is why like I have a lot like in Lose It All Reimagined, that whole like bridge part where I'm just like doing like ethereal singing. Cause I was like, that's where like my emotion kind of took me into that, not so much lyrically at that point when I was writing it. So yeah, I feel like lyrics are always really, really hard for me to verbalize. And then the same thing, it's like, how do I say this without sounding like super generic? Because I'm not a deep person. So things just come up very like blunt. And I'm like, I have to make this more like creative, more artsy. And the funny thing is, I used to write poetry, but apparently all that goes out the window when I'm writing a song, which is stupid because it's kind of the same thing. But I don't know.
That's very funny. I don't think people would know that about you. You
No.
don't consider yourself a deep person?
No.
What?
No. I don't know. I guess I'm also like very like quiet in terms of like feelings. Like I'll feel things, I just don't really express it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like stoic, but I'm very like things just go on in my head. I'm like, I process things differently. Like something happens, I'm like, okay, that happened. Cool, moving on. Unless it like makes me really angry, then I get like violent, which is where Monster came out from.
Great.
I'm like a horrible person. Okay.
I love that. It's so funny just like looking at you. Like it's kind of like makes me laugh. It's like you're quiet, this purple and green and auburn and orange and brown lipstick and great brows and great. And it's like, oh, I'm quiet. So there's expression in different ways.
Like if I go to a party, I'm usually the one like hanging out with the dog, like in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Unless I like really know everybody there. Like I'm not like gonna run out and be like, hey everybody. I just kind of like walk in a room like, hello.
That's so funny. Okay, we were talking about this the other day. What's your sign? What's your astrological sign?
Sagittarius.
So what are you? Tell me about you.
About Sagittarius or about me in general? I don't know.
So I don't know. Are you into astrology at all? Some people
No,
are like, okay, well, I'm a Gemini vegetarian, haha, from Legally Blonde. They like all know all their traits and everything.
I know that I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay, great. Okay, that's all you know.
What
okay.
you think about it?
It's only like I've never dated a Sagittarius before. Like if I'm dating someone, I Google them and okay, you're a hothead. Okay, you're creative. Okay, you're quiet. Okay, you're this with it. Gotcha. But I'm a Pisces, but I'm a very non-Pisces because if I'm at a party, I'm talking to everyone, I'm following everyone around, giving everyone compliments and going like, oh my God, I love that. So it's like, someone asked if I was a Leo the other day and I was like, no, I'm a very non-Pisces Pisces.
Wait, so is Leo more like outgoing? Is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Leos are in the mix, running around. Kind of thing.
I wonder what Sagittarius is. Someone did say that Sagittarius are like sarcastic and smartasses. I'm like, okay, well, that part's me. But I don't know anything else about them. I should probably look that up.
I believe it. I know. I was kind of like, I have my phone right here. I'm like, Sagittarius.
Let's see.
Okay. Okay, this is funny. Okay.
There, it's there.
When's your birthday, by the way?
November 29th.
Okay. I didn't know if you knew this, but you're half human, half horse. Hey, half and half. Half.
Hey.
There you go. Okay. You're the centaur of mythology, the learned healer whose higher intelligence forms a bridge between earth and heaven. Okay. I swear I'm not hitting on you. I'm reading from my phone. Sounds like I'm hitting on you. Also known as the archer, Sagittarius is represented by the symbol of a bow and arrow. Okay, I just want to read like a few more. Okay. Changeable quality. Okay, centaur, non-human. Got it. You never fail in hitting the mark. Okay, so as an archer, Sagittarius is never to fail in hitting the mark, and this depiction alludes to the power of prophecy, hence the claim that seers and prophets are born in this sign. So you're a seer, you're a prophet, you always hit the mark.
And I'm half horse.
And you're half horse and half human, between earth and the heavens. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I never did ancestry.com, so who knows?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, I got that app right here. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
I love, yeah. What kind of movies do you like?
I like comedies, but to me, like, I like older comedies. Like, I feel like a lot of the new stuff I don't really find funny. I think 'cause I'm an old soul. But that superhero movies, I'm a nerd, so definitely that.
Which ones are your favorite superhero movies?
I'm gonna go with the cliche Dark Knight because everybody loves that movie. But in my defense, like, it's just a good movie. Okay, so that Watchmen was really good. I was actually just watching that again 2 days ago. I guess I like the whole, like, the Bat family in general. I'm a big fan, inspired by Harley Quinn and the Joker. So definitely a huge influence.
Okay, great. That's what I was like pushing you towards, and gave it to me in the end. I was like, eyebrows. Here are my eyebrows. Here are my wings. There you go. How long have you done like the hair, by the way? Forever, right?
Yeah, I dyed it on my birthday in 2019 because my hair was purple, and then I got bored. That was the extent of that. And then I just dyed the other half of it, and then it kind of stuck. And I don't know. I usually change my hair every like year, but this has been almost 2 years. Well, over 2 years.
I love it. And I was watching our videos last night, and I really think it sets you apart, which is great. Everyone knows, oh, that's that girl, Alyxx. I think it's like very recognizable. I think it's great for branding. I was watching the video and I was like, beautiful girl, yes. And there's like a fun little trademark there. I think it's great and it works. Like, I'm just another black girl with black hair and metal. So, that there's a few of us. I've heard there's like at least two for sure. So I'm a big fan of the hair and keeping it going and everything.
Did you have red hair at one point?
Oh God, let's get into it. Yeah. And I'm kind of, so my funny thing about it, I love nice things, but if I can like save money, nothing gives me greater joy in the world. So I used to be like, I do my own hair for $27 a month. And I did it and I bleached it and I had it fire engine red for 3 years. And then right before I launched Scandalous as a brand, all my hair broke off. So I was like so excited, yay, red hair. And right before I was launching everything, it all broke off. And I had like no hair in the back of my head. Like it was like literally like this long. Then I'd have like weird long strands.
Oh my God.
In the front. And I didn't know what to do. So I've never admitted to this. We're doing it here because people have asked me this before and I'm like, no, what are you talking about? I didn't know what to do. So I had a weird summer with wigs that I thought looked okay and they did not.
Oh no.
I thought it was like, oh, it's kind of okay. It was not okay. I got like the best ones there were, but like didn't work. Yeah, it just didn't work out. And I thought it looked like better than it did. And I think back and I have like some really great photos with like All That Remains and a bunch of other bands like Miss May I, 36 Crazy Fest, like were some of my first interviews. And I was like wearing a wig in those. And, if I, like regrets of all the bragging. I do my own hair for $27 a month. Ha ha. And then I didn't find out about Bond Builder till after. And there's a thing called Bond Builder. You mix it in with your bleach, that won't happen to you.
Yes. See, I don't bleach my own hair. My friend bleaches my roots for me like every 2 months, but then I do the actual color. I use Arctic Fox because it's like a hydrating conditioner dye. And I have to use like Olaplex and like repair treatments and stuff because I didn't know about that either, like the repairing and stuff, like the Olaplex or whatever. So my hair like literally just like fell out for a while. That was great. And like I had to cut it. It was like up to here. And now like I have actual hair again and I'm very happy. And a lot of people think this is a wig, but it's not.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's not. You can tell,
Yeah. Like if I were to get a wig, I'd have one with more volume than my hair. Look a little different, but no.
That's funny. I know. And I kind of like want to like do dye again, but I'm just like, I have hair and it's just like, it was, and I look back on photos and like, you could see where it was just like breaking off going up to here. Oh. And I like look back at some of these photos and I'm like, that like my hair like went from like here to here and I didn't even know it was happening. Like I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah. And the worst is like when it's in the back and you can't see it until someone's like, have you seen the back of your head? And I'm like, no, it's like this.
Yeah, it's really great. Sometimes so it's funny. I did see like the top of my head. It is weird seeing the top of your head. I was trying to do like a transition TikTok thing. I'm starting to make those. Okay. You did a really good one that I saw on your profile where you like did the top of your head and then you like your head down and up. Yours looked great, but I did like get a glimpse of the top of my head the other day and I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's all the ways that TikTok pushes you, right?
Oh God. Well, I noticed because like I have to like split my hair in the back. Like you can tell my roots I didn't fix them. So I put color over it, which didn't do anything. But in order to get the back, I have it in like 2 like pigtails basically to like make sure it's like even. And then even when I'm like dyeing it, like I have to use a mirror to like look at the back of my head. And I'm just like, oh, I'm balding in some spot. I'm like, this is horrible. Oh God. Okay.
I love being a woman, don't you?
It's so much fun.
So I always say that. I'm like, so much fun.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's great. We're angry and we're angsty. We're mad now. We're angsty. So let's talk about Monster. Yes. Voice intensity, best lyrics. Tell everyone about the song Monster. You said that was kind of a combustible song for you. Tell us what that song means to you.
So, I mean, I feel like everyone gets angry at times. I used to have like really bad anger problems, honestly, when I was younger. Now I have an outlook. I train in Muay Thai and I've been doing martial arts for like almost like 4.5 years. So that's definitely helped. And then just, growing into an adult and learning how to deal with my feelings. But every now and then I get a little snippy, I guess. But that song was just kind of like accepting that there is a part of me that's there and that I just have to deal with it, So yeah, bad anger problems.
I did not know that you did Muay Thai. You said Muay Thai and what else?
So I had started off and I dabbled in like jujitsu like for like a year. And then I did MMA and Kali, which is like sticks with swords and karambits. And okay, basically my best way of describing it is like lightsaber fighting. A lot of that is Kali choreography. So kind of like that, except not with lightsabers. Although I have done it with lightsabers. And now I just train in Muay Thai and I've been training for about a year.
That's awesome. So what's your favorite part of that? Like, what are your favorite, like, because everyone's doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So there's like a lot of mat work. Like, do you have favorite moves or anything you're really good at that you really like doing?
All of it. So with Muay Thai, it's you basically there's punches, there's elbows, there's knees, there's kicks, there's sweeps. It's a little different than jujitsu. So like jujitsu is all about getting to the ground and basically like wrestling once you're there and there's a bunch of moves. But in Muay Thai, like if you sweep someone and they fall, like they get back up and then you gotta like keep going. I guess I just like the aggression of it and like having like a good elbow or a good knee. I don't know. Usually where I go to.
I've been wanting to get into that and I haven't yet, but it seems really fun.
You should do it.
I've really been wanting to. And Five Finger Death Punch's security guy, he moved to Austin and him and I are friends on Instagram and he's all about that. And he's always in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym and he posts everything and I watch everything and I'm mystified by it and everyone posts about it. And I think that would be really fun to get into. So thanks for sharing that with us. It's really cool. So I follow you on social media, on Spotify and on YouTube. You are known for beautiful and passionate cover songs, the newest being the Flyleaf song. Which Flyleaf song are you doing and why'd you pick that song?
I mean, that song, when I first heard it, when it came out in like 2006, it just like, I don't know, it just like it hit me. And like, I know Flyleaf is like a Christian rock band and I'm not religious at all, but the music still like spoke to me in like a different way than I don't know if she intended, but it still like, it hit me. And I just listened to the album on repeat for like weeks and weeks. And I don't know, just sometimes things like resonate with you. So when I was thinking about covers and things I wanted to do, I kind of wanted to like pay homage to like one of my influences. Growing up like with Evanescence and Flyleaf and 3 Days Grace and Breaking Benjamin, and like that was kind of like my world. And yeah, so I just was like, oh, I want to do this. And it ended up being really cool. And they acknowledged it on Twitter. They reposted it. I was like, oh.
Oh my God, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. That made like, it's almost like, oh my God, that makes me like a little teary. So I graduated high school in 2006. So that song, same. Evanescence, Flyleaf, all those bands. And so the song that you did is actually my karaoke song, like when I go to do karaoke. So I love that song. And it's for our generation, it's just like one of the most impactful, beautiful feeling things that there is out there.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. That's awesome. I love that they shared that.
Right? I was like, oh, that was cool. It was nice to like do a cover of a song and then have the person who wrote it acknowledge it and then say they liked it, because nothing's worse than like covering a song and the person being like, So it was nice I got their seal of approval.
Totally. I've done some interviews where they're like, oh, and you know what else I want to talk about? People covering, like doing this guitar cover on YouTube. Y'all always get this wrong. And it's like, oh no. I've had a couple interviews and they're like, yeah, it's just scandalous. There's definitely been a few where they're like, and you know what else? Everyone's doing it like this and it's not like this at all. It's like this, and y'all need to get that right. And it's like, oh,
let's not do that.
Yeah, it's super funny. I was at a POD show, and one of the Flyleaf guys was on the tour with them, and we ended up going to breakfast together. And I was just like freaking out the entire time, like going, "Oh my God, Flyleaf!" Like wild. It's just wild when you can, meet someone who like completely touched and influenced your life. And another funny time, and this is kind of funny talking about Flyleaf, like being the Christian band. When I was like 21, 22, I ran around with like Hell Yeah for a few years because I was friends with their tour manager. And it was a Dallas show. And I was like walking somewhere with Vinnie Paul and we passed Lacey. And he was like, oh, hey, Lacey, I know you're into the whole Christian thing, but we're all going to the clubhouse. You can come if you want to. And the clubhouse is the like famous strip club where all the bands go.
Okay.
If you're like a rock or metal band, whoever came through Dallas, you can always get in if you show your laminate or your tour pass, you always get in for free.
Good to know.
Every time there's like a band in town, and it doesn't exist anymore, they like sold it off. But that actually used to be like a fun thing about Dallas. If you're ever, on tour, all you have to do is like flash your laminate. There you go, and you get in for free. And then Vinny would have his table, and then everyone would like go sit over there. But that was just like a very hilarious, funny thing. He was like, "Oh, hey Lacey, I know you got this whole Christian thing, but if you want to come down to Clubhouse, come on."
That's awesome.
I always remember
that.
What
did she say? Was she like, nah?
She was so like, "Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much. I don't think we'll make it this time, but thank you so much for the invite."
Hunting.
But yeah, like it's such a funny story, right? Of just going. That's just awesome. Like one of the wildest things, right?
I would have laughed if she went. I would have been like,
Right? No, she was just so sweet.
She seems very sweet, and like genuine.
Oh yeah, I ran into her at another show, and their album, touched us like in a way that, we could like really never describe it. I think like you and I are like around the same age, so that album, that music at the same time. I met her, and I almost like started crying, and I'm 5'6", plus I was in like 3 or 4 inch heels, and she like jumped up to hug my neck because she's so short. And she was so sweet, and she was so kind, and she literally jumped so she could like hug me. So that's a kind of like nice lady we're talking about here.
It's always nice when like there are people that you look up to and that are actually like good people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Or it's just like, it's wild. I think with interviews, the music always meant so much to me. So the whole reason like I got into everything was just to be able to tell them thank you. Like if I could just tell a few people thank you so much for everything you did and everything you did for my life. That was the whole reason of why I wanted to get into any of this and do any of it, was just to be able to tell them thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. And I've gotten to, so yay.
Yay.
So tell people a few other covers. I really loved the Linkin Park song that you covered. I thought that was so beautiful.
Thank you.
But you have a bunch out there that are really incredible, special pieces. So what are a few others that people might recognize?
Wow, I like how everything just went out the window. Everything ever covered.
I have my phone. Do you want me to help?
Okay, let's see if I can remember what I done. Like The Purge from Within Temptation, that was awesome to do. Beast by Saint Asonia. I did I Refuse by Five Finger Death Punch, which I did end up putting on Spotify just because people asked me to. I normally don't. I at the time didn't really put my covers on Spotify, but now I'm starting to get into it because people are asking, and it's cool. So that, what else did I do? Oh, Grave Mistake by Ice Nine Kills. That was fun because I don't know, sometimes I'll hear a song and I'm like, oh, and I play like an orchestra in my head. I do listen to a lot of classical music, so that's probably where that comes from. But so I arranged this like orchestral piece for that. So that was fun. Oh, and Amaranthine from Amaranth.
Oh, I love that one. That was a special one. I remember that. And yeah, the Ice Nine Kills song, it is so different with the woman singing it. Isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it sounded cool. I liked it.
It was really, you made it completely different. And I guess it's just very interesting, like the mind of a man, and then it coming from like the mind of a woman and the voice of a woman. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it changes it so much. And I never really thought about that song in that way. I really liked it a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you like Spirit Box?
I love Spirit Box.
Right. Isn't it?
So good. I've listened to that album on repeat like way too many times.
Oh, totally. Isn't it wild that I feel like our heavy voices like have some representation? They have for a while, like with my favorites, like Butcher Babies,
Arch
many.
Enemy.
Yeah, actually, thank you. That's exactly who I was trying to think of real quick. I was like, Alyssa, da, 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 da. I was like, oh God, I can't remember. And I was like, oh, and so many. I was trying to think of
I was like,
Enemy.
I think you're thinking of Arch Enemy.
How did you know? You like just picked it out of my mind.
We're there.
Yeah, I'm Ginger, but it's just, I don't know, it's so wild. It feels like, I think for a woman, it feels like when a man is singing, we don't, we listen to a man singing. But when a woman is singing, it's like we don't even have to think about men, and it's kind of for us.
I can see that, yeah.
And so much of the industry is male, and I love it, and I love that music, and I zone out to it. But I really enjoy, like, when I listen to women sing, it's like for me, and there's no men involved, and it's like I can kind of get away from men for a while and like not think about them, and I really enjoy that.
That's always good. Yeah, I feel like, back in the day, like, Flyleaf, Evanescence, even like Hailstorm, those were kind of like the women dominated bands, so I feel like there wasn't a lot of like, representation or women really in the rock world. So I mean, a lot of my influences are like male vocalists, but I think now, like, it's really cool that there is that kind of like gap that's been closed. For now there's like we were just talking about, like, these women that are like huge and like making it, to the top. And it's really cool to like be a part of that time when it's moving up. So
absolutely. And I'm your biggest fan, and I'm so excited to see everything that you do in this industry. And I feel your voice in your music so much. So I can't wait to see all the beautiful things you do in this industry. I just can't wait.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what the future holds,